Why hello, my fellow settlers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Pioneers of Pagonia, Episode 3, Growing Pains. Oh, there's more bandits. Oh boy, there was a fight here. Holy moly. This is a veteran bandit that's just killing everyone. Well, there goes all of the guards I have. Yay, there we go. You know, 10th time's a charm. All right, let's see. How many guards am I going to have to replace? 6 of them? And that means I need more spears for that. Okay, can I snake a road up to where I want? Let's see. Another thing I should do is my sawmills. Some of the problem that I've been having is the woodcutters are backed up and the sawmills aren't producing very quickly, so setting up a permanent sawmill spot would be ideal. So I'm working on that. If you're wondering, the equipment from the dead and the bodies eventually just disappear. There's no like cemetery mechanic or looting mechanic of dead units. The only time the loot matters is if you catch a thief and they drop inventory that you caught them with. Then in that case, you get it back. As far as I know, don't quote me on that. And there we go. Here's our cabbage stall. So sooner or later, the bakery will finish up. It's getting its last delivery of softwood beams. And then once the bakery's done, we should be sporting some lovely bread as well. So I'll start tracking bread and flour as trackables up there. Adventurers Guild training is done. I'll train some extra rangers knowing that I get them killed quickly. And once I have like a decent amount of soldiers trained, which requires the weaponsmith being built and then bronze swords being forged, I can actually start to clear out these bandit camps so that they don't periodically attack me. Now, the guide wants me to spawn more cottages. My 2 cents, the time that you spawn cottages is when your carriers that are ready for new tasks are like 0, which means you need more people. Or not 0, but like getting down to low double digits. So, as it is right now, I have like plenty of excess population. So that means I'm not going to bother with extra cottages. But once that my excess carriers, because carriers are sort of your general laborers, you can think of it that way. Once my carrier pop starts to get diminished, then I'll start being concerned about building extra houses to bolster at the pop. All right, I'm getting tired of waiting for the weaponsmith, so I'm going to set it up as a priority so it gets the softwood beams. The other thing I could do, if we take a look over here, I have tons of hardwood beams, but I don't have a lot of softwood beams. So I could tell the sawmills temporarily... Do I just have one sawmill? Is that my problem? Do I really? No, I have 2 sawmills. Where's the other one? I could tell my sawmills to just focus on making softwood beams, which is the bottleneck for the construction projects that I've queued up. I have not tried Mind Over Magic yet. I don't even know about it. But this game scratches the same itch of like, you know, Settlers, and I enjoyed Settlers. There's a lot of things that I would like to see. I would like to see more like warfare mechanics introduced into the game, but as it is now, it's a pretty solid title. And I think those sort of warfare mechanics are probably inevitably going to make their way in eventually. I hope. I do have 6 iron bars. So yeah. Very eager to start actually armor smithing. Another thing I could do now is that this terrain is freed up, put in a cornfield. To get more crop variety for people to be happy. So, these guys will do corn only. Actually, you know what? Because they overlap, I could actually have them do corn and wheat, the farmers themselves, but then designate the fields specifically for corn and wheat, so that if there's no more wheat tasks for me to do, the wheat farmers can help with corn, and then if there's no more corn tasks for the corn farmers to do, they can help with wheat. That way, there's more like labor balancing, given crop yield cycles and all that. But forcing the fields to be one specific type of crop so that it looks a little bit more organized and that I can control the quantity of corn and wheat. And then the other thing I will do is to make sure that the center of work focus is designated so that the corn is centered on the corn and the wheat is centered on the wheat, which is already the case for the wheat. There we go. Another farm. So the other, the crops that I'm currently missing, if you're wondering, would be pumpkin. Pumpkin is just like grassland crop, so you can put that kind of anywhere, which is a little bit easier to manage. And at this point, it is safe to say that where I want my forester is freed up. So the plan is to set up permanent sawmills. I found another enemy camp. Permanent sawmills attached to a forester, and then permanent woodcutter huts along this road, set up all with storage. Oh, and then this should actually be a well, so let me get rid of that, because foresters need water as well. So there's a well for the forester, and then I'll set up storages and woodcutter huts for all of my wood production sort of clustered around one another. Oh, here we go. More border wars. So we found another bandit camp out to the west, and my guardsmen, these guys, are trying to do land claims into their terrain, which is going to cause them to die. So I'm going to have them avoid that. Wood workshop. Do I need gears? No. Do I need shields? No. Do I need spears? Yes, because I keep losing guards. And torches. Let's add torches to the weapon track as well. Can I connect my roads to other towns? No. No. But you can trade with other towns. But your roads will not... Well, okay. No, with an asterisk. The asterisk is, once you fully ally the towns, you can actually annex them and incorporate them into your territory, connecting the roads. But that at that point, you've probably already won the map campaign, so it's not useful. Hence the asterisk. So, like, technically, eventually, the orange town here and the red town here, I'll be able to annex. But by the time I'm given the opportunity to annex them, I've already, like, won the campaign. And this storage, corn. So weaponsmith is done and armorsmith is done. Nice. That means that sooner or later, I'm going to focus on getting some cheap soldiers. You know what? Forget it. I'm going to go straight for the good soldiers. I'm going to get iron swords, iron shields, and chainmail, and try to get 10 veteran soldiers, which will help me clear out these bandit camps. The other type of farm that I have not yet set up would be a flax farm. And I think that that's also a good idea, as all of the... most of the flax to be foraged is now gone. So I'll set a flax farm. Let's actually just get rid of the forager's hut, because it's kind of in my way. Put a flax farm here. Flax farms are a little bit harder to have wells attached to, because flax likes dusty soil, and wells don't. So this will be storage for flax. And then the fields set up behind. Also keeping in mind that the vegetable farm here might overlap some of the flax fields. So I might want to designate the flax fields as flax. But only probably the first few really need it. Because everything else in this circle is outside of the sphere of influence of vegetable farm. In fact, only maybe the first field could be ever planted as cabbage. But then all the cabbage fields are in the sphere of influence of the flax farm. But they're already designated. So there we go. Our little flax farm. So we're only missing pumpkins now. And I'll get those eventually. But having the variety that we already have is pretty good. So over here is the sort of timbering facility. So I'm not even going to designate specifically what resources of wood go here. So assigning a category allows it to just be anything of this. Any of these 6 different types. And because I don't really care, it's kind of just like timber overflow, I'll leave it undesignated. And I would say the forester is going to be a high priority because it would be good for me to start sowing trees. A shortcut road over here. Yeah, so I was planning on having like a boundary road along the water. That then terminates there and snakes its way over to the forester like that. So that there's a road that goes all the way over. And then maybe this one running over to the mines. Now everything is got like 2 different paths in one big loop. Now, clearing all these forests, oh, guards are at it again because there's no more space for land claims. So if I want to avoid my guards constantly dying, I'm going to fire them all. Because I don't want to make land claims where they just keep fighting the bandits and die, as it gets expensive. So these guards here can make land claims out this way, because that won't run into this bandit camp, but I don't want this guard tower to do any more. So this guard tower, what it could be is, let's say 5 rangers and 5 soldiers. And I'm going to have them patrol here, and then once the guard tower is fully staffed, I'll have them attack that bandit camp and try to clear it. And then likewise, it might not be a bad idea for me to set up an extra guard tower. I need land claims right there. But an extra guard tower over here to do the same for this bandit camp as a staging area to attack. So these guards will... I need land claims here to be able to run a... Actually, there's enough room for a road, I think. Yeah, there's enough room for a road. Put another guard tower here. And then this guard tower can start doing land claims up towards red. And then also as a staging area to clear out these bandit camps. In order to speed up the soldiering, I think another smelter would be handy. Unfortunately, there's like physically nowhere to put it. That would be good. Well, I'll put it over here. I'm getting rid of these woodcutter huts because they're being replaced by newer ones. We could put the smelter work there. Right next to the weaponsmith and armorsmith. And wood workshop. Makes sense, I think. All right. We got some corn now. So soon we should see a corn stand. Oh, yep. I think this is a... No, that's a bread stand. Cabbage. More cabbage. But yeah, as soon as they start to do the harvest, we should see a corn stand there, and that will allow for a greater variety of meals from the tavern. Keeping people happy. I'm going to move the forager hut more out of the way. And then also the hunter's lodge more out of the way as well. Because these spots are kind of in the middle of the town. So we'll get those broken down. Freeing up the space for homes eventually. There is no... unfortunately, there's no, like, set production until it crafts to a minimum. No. I mean, not exactly. So there's not a do until. So you can do infinite amounts, or you can set it up so if you do it infinite amounts, but then you have a finite amount of storage for that thing, technically it's like do until you have 64 of the item, but like I don't think you're ever going to want that outside of things like cut stone or border stone, because 64, like, you know, chainmail is an insanely high amount of chainmail. So all of this is now my territory, and I could start exploiting it for resources, but I don't think I really need to. Looking at my My resources here, we're sitting pretty for most things. Okay, there we go. So we have the new sawmills, and that means I can phase out the old ones. So I'm just going to actually nuke them. And this one too. And there's more space for general storage. That's another thing that that is not bad. You shouldn't sleep on is just like storage that is non-designated. That way, whatever you need to have as overflow, you have space for. I do find that to be handy. So I'm gonna drop a bunch of general storage here by the water. And then if I see that it's like one specific type of resource, I can maybe designate like a better spot for it. But there isn't storage priorities. That's not a thing that is in the game. So managing your stockpiles is like rather tricky and rather also important. Wood workshop's done. Gears is fine. I'll make 5 more gears, though. 5 more spears. That looks good. And then these 3 woodcutters are going to be sort of... maybe I'll just make 2. These 2 woodcutters are going to cut only full-size trees. Working in conjunction with the forester so that we have a renewable source of wood. I'm sitting on a lot of like raw wood right now, so it's not super important that we get that built urgently. We've opened up a lot of territory around this tavern now so that we can build housing when population becomes an issue, which it isn't yet. I still have 200 free carriers to do carrying work. Explorers. I want to see what's this way. Up the side of the mountain. Now, training wants me to construct additional construction units. I'm not going to do that just yet. But I am going to build a silver hut. So where... Okay, there's a little bit of silver right there. And there's probably silver... Yep, there's silver up here as well. 2 silver huts. So silver on this campaign is important because this campaign has spectral... well, specters, you know, ghosts. And in order to kill ghosts, you kind of need silver swords. You need those Witcher blades. Sir Cardinal, thank you for the resub. Cheers. And CBG Aaron, thank you for the resub too. Dom, man, I missed a lot of them. Cheers all. So the last crop that I am not currently getting would be pumpkins. And it's not, right here is not a necessarily bad spot for a pumpkin farm. Well, let me hold off on that. I might want smelting works here, but that's across the street from the pumpkin farm, so that's fine. Our pumpkins will taste a bit like coal, but you know, that's not really a thing. So get a well. And then just tell them to grow pumpkins. I don't need to designate these fields because there's no other farms nearby, so these will all just be pumpkin fields by default. And then across the street from the pumpkins, pumpkin storage. And that resolves every single crop type that we need. So, Do we have a corn stand yet? No. Oh, yeah, we do. This is a hybrid market stall of both cabbage and corn, I guess. In fact, a few of them are. They're just selling veggies. Fantastic. So these two woodcutter huts are temporary, and I'm just trying to cut down the remainder of the trees around here, and then once those trees are cut down, I will delete them and the roads they're connected to, freeing it all up for residential. This guard tower is probably going to get phased out as well at some point, because it's not close to the border anymore. But here's our new guard tower, and this new guard tower will do land claims all the way up to the southeast border of this town. Getting this lovely isthmus. Weaponsmith is done. That means that I have 10 good iron swords. So we're just waiting on the armor smith in order to make the chainmail and iron shields for the veteran soldiers. Nice. Traffic's a little high. There's a bit of a queue here, but it's not like they're at a standstill yet. And then this is what I was saying, is once you have general undesignated stockpiles, you can see what you have a lot of that is spilling over to the general. So like copper and stone, some wood, and that will keep the production facilities from getting backed up, which is kind of nice. Look at all that lovely space for housing. So we got a second smelting works, and this is a third here. It's one of those, especially on like the high combat campaigns, you're probably going to want a lot of iron and silver blades. And it takes a long time to process that stuff. So like right now, I have 0 available, I have 6 reserved, and then I'm missing 18 for what I've currently queued up, just to show you how backed up it is. So you are reviewing possible improvements along those lines, so you have both options of full manual control and optional stock keeping. That sounds great. I really like, there's a lot of games that have the function of like do until you have X, so that it tries to keep a minimum level of stock. The other feedback I would have, because there's alerts here, would be alternate alerts of like, a lot of games incorporate this, where if you have any work facilities that have stoppages, like this white flag on the tailor, to have some sort of way to figure out what production facilities aren't doing something. Sometimes it's just as simple as like, I don't have anything queued up. So right now there's not anything that I want this tailor shop to make. But for other instances of like, they don't have enough meals or whatever, it'd be really nice if there was some sort of alert flags for that. So I'm going to have the weaponsmith, which doesn't have any work priorities, make some spare iron swords, which I know is going to make the armorsmith... Oh, you know what's happening? The weaponsmith was on high priority, and the armorsmith wasn't. So all of the iron was being earmarked for swords. So now I just did the inverse, because I'm waiting on the armor. So I've made the armorsmith high priority so that we get the armor, but then any leftover resources will go to the weaponsmith. So that was kind of my fault. But I noticed. Onyx, thank you for the resub. So I'm sitting on a very fair amount of coal and iron ore. The silver hut. Okay, the silver hut is finally built. So that's another thing that I'm going to want near my my smithy. Is let's add some additional storages here. They're going to be a bit janky. But this one will be for valuables of, not valuables, rare resources of silver ore and rare resources of silver bars. And then maybe more coal storage. You really can't have enough coal storage for smelters and tool makers because they burn through so much of it. We are getting our first veteran soldiers trained. And once I have a decent amount of veteran soldiers, I'm going to go after the bandit camps so that I don't have constant skirmishes like this one. With the bandits and the guards duking it out, because guards are more land claimers. They're more like surveyors and land claimers than they are fighters. And they die often. Luckily, making a wooden spear. Oh, yep, and there's more guards duking it out over here. So there must be a bandit camp over this way. Also, I see some spectral tombs. So I gotta be really careful not to get too close to that, because specters will frighten most units that get within them, and they will drop their gear, basically losing it. And in order to fight those, you need fear nuts. So I am working on silver blades, and let's add that to the tracker. Working on making silver blades in order to fight the ghosts. Ooh, a thief stole something. You can always find the thieves pretty easy because they're ugly and they're like bloody. They look different. So he stole some wheat from me. And he probably came in from the northwest. What's funny is because all of these guards are just guards and not rangers, the rangers won't detect them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire 2 of the guards or repurpose them elsewhere and then have 2 rangers here. And I think what's happening with this thief is the thief is coming through my neighbor's territory. So the territory, in other words, needs to be guarded. Or the border between territories needs to be guarded, or it will be plundered by thieves that are passing through. So, do I have... No, I don't have enough rangers. So I'm going to get 6. I'll train 6 new ones. And we'll replace the 6 torches and the 6 light leather armors. Farm stands. Yeah. Corn, cabbage, bread, raspberries. Not a lot of meat being sold here. Mostly because I've absolutely destroyed the biosphere, and there's no forest left. So that's on me. The toolsmith is done. So I queued up 5 of everything. And it looks like we're low on sickles. So I'll do 5 more sickles, 2 pliers, and then maybe they'll have more required soon. Hey, Wastelander, thank you for the resub, too. Cheers, dude. All of the rangers got recruited. Nice. So this guard tower here is no longer to do land claims. I am going to have this guard tower ready for a raid against the bandit camps. So I'm going to put 3 rangers and 7 soldiers in. And if you want to get details about what kind of soldiers and rangers, you can just click the boxes. So I can say only veteran soldiers and regular rangers. And currently I only have 1 veteran soldier and 1 training. So it's going to be a while until that's ready. That's fine. And on the other guard towers, I will employ a few rangers as well to try to limit it, how frequent I get thieves passing through and stealing my my goods. So in this guard tower, this first western guard tower, for now, I think what I'll do is just put all of the rangers in, which are going to guard my border from... Actually, you know what? I'm going to fire them all. I'm going to have as many of the rangers that need to be employed. No, I already have them. Never mind. So yeah, I'll just max out a bunch of rangers here so that they just protect from thieves as well. So I think I need 4 more rangers. Which means 4 more torches and 4 more leather armors. We're starting to get silver smelted, which means fear not blades, so that I can fight the very nasty ghosts soon. And then the tutorial guide also wants me to build a military camp. So what a military camp is, it's just a place essentially for your unused military units to muster, waiting to be deployed in combat. And it's a cheap building, and it just allows you to have your units that aren't being used be somewhere. So I'll put it right on this beachhead. Oh, a thief stole something. Yep, cunning thief and thief. And they probably stole from through this guard tower area that hadn't had rangers until just now. Nice. So the guard tower that is mustering for an attack has 7 of the 10 military units that it needs. And my rangers are having a duke out. Ooh, Master Thief? Having a duke out with thieves. They revealed them. So as you can see, they were stealing like silver ore and wheat. And that stuff will then be picked back up by carriers and returned to stockpiles because we caught them. Oh, and I found a broken tomb. These land claimers, I want to claim up until this border here. Oh, my explorers. So here's a good example. My explorer got too close to the Spectre and panicked and lost their equipment. And I got to see that firsthand because I watched them walk in. So, explorers, let's go here, away from where the goat... Oh, no, because that will have you run into the bandit camp, so don't do that. Let's have you go here. That doesn't look like there's bandits nearby. I hope. Depends on how we path there, I suppose. Alright, we're only missing 2 veteran soldiers. And the armor for them is getting manufactured now. So very, very soon we'll have the military force to make our first raid on bandits. Finally. The tutorial wants me to recruit like a regular soldier, so I'll do that as well, just like a token one. I do have a bronze sword and a wooden shield, so that will be done in just a minute. And all of the trees have been cleared, so I'm going to get rid of this woodcutting hut. Poof. I don't yet need additional pop, so I'm going to hold off on building more cottages and residences around here. I'm going to wait until it's really needed. Wood workshop. Cogs are good. Shields, let's get one more. Torches are good. Bows are good. Wooden spears. I'm gonna get more wooden spears just because guards do die kind of often. It helps to have an abundance of extra spears to replace guards when they croak. But here's my soldiers, my veteran soldiers and my rangers, ready to duke it out. So we're waiting on one more veteran to be trained. They're currently being trained right now as we speak. And then they will muster and I'll have them attack. Thank you for tuning in to Pioneers of Pagonia, which originally streamed live on Twitch December 19th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that this is a mini-series streamed one time only, so changes cannot be made. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams, and if you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, a link can be found at my website or in the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in the next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow pioneers.